This is George Hutton, and you're listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. Today we continue our study of weaponized hypnosis. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/weaponized-hypnosis. In today's podcast, we'll be talking about a summary of mental destruction techniques. The first two techniques we've learned don't require any data collection. The first requires having done enough practice so you can spot the hidden idea or embedded insult within their sentence and calmly ask them why they think it's true. The second involves memorized and covert ego attacks that will knock them off balance and take away their attack energy. But these most recent techniques require that you consciously collect information from them to later use against them. Information that you collect from them just as you would from an actual friend. Be clear that in order to most effectively destroy your true enemies, you must get close enough to them and convince them you are their friend in order to best betray them. You also will very likely, in your feigned and clever friendship, deter them from doing whatever it was that put them in the enemy category of your mind. Understand this is much different than finding out their weaknesses. Finding out somebody's weakness is something you can do to a friend and ally so you can help them protect their weakness. Finding out a weakness of others just so you can exploit it will absolutely ruin your reputation. It's one of those underhanded tricks that will make even your closest friends not want anything to do with you. What we are learning here is much deadlier and much more covert. You are eliciting their hopes and dreams. Then you are attaching ideas of horror and death to torment those hopes and dreams. And you are doing it within several hypnotic stories that will fade their memory. Not only will this be much deeper and deadlier, you will have complete plausible deniability. They won't know you are using anchors or embedded commands. They won't know you've wrapped death inside several stories that you are delivering as calmly as an afternoon conversation. They will truly believe you are evil and have used horrific black magic on their soul. If they complain to others about what you have done, nobody will believe them. They will sound like they have mental problems. This is extremely deceptive, covert, and utterly damaging to their psyche. Just as damaging as a house key rammed into the eyeball of an attacker or a tight collection of shots to the chest of a home invader. In many areas, you can legally protect your home and property with deadly force. Consider your brain, your thoughts, your emotions, your sense of self the most private of properties. If a burglar doesn't want to be shot in the chest with hollow points, they shouldn't be breaking into houses. If a coworker doesn't want their mind melted into a puddle of inescapable horror and confusion, they shouldn't attempt to assault you verbally in front of others or attempt to damage your self-esteem, which can have lifelong ramifications on your career or relationships. What we are learning is serious business, but just as you won't get the confidence from learning martial arts without practicing, you won't get the verbal confidence of these techniques unless you go through the practice of learning them, despite how distasteful they may be. Most people that learn martial arts never ever need them outside of tournaments. Consider these as only emergency use only techniques as well. The following is a review on how to forever destroy your enemies should the need arise. Collect positive information. Get them talking about their future. Swallow your pride and let them boast. Keep in mind the strategy of Sun Tzu. Become a pig to eat the tiger. Get them talking about their future in big, bright terms. Elicit the specifics. Find the specific ideas and statements that make them the most excited. Help them paint a clear picture of their future. Try to get them to describe it as descriptively as possible. Anchor the best parts. Find all the highlights. Connect them to your spatial anchors and your self point. Take whatever grammatical form they present their ideas in, and whenever possible, feed it back to them as a command that you connect to your spatial anchor. For example, if they say they are going to one day have a house next to the beach, keep the house by the beach part intact and put a simple verb in front of it to turn it into a command. That will be awesome when you get a house by the beach. Collect as many as possible. More is always better. Collect as many of these command phrases related to their ideal future that you can. The more you collect, the better. both because they will be so enamored with you they will want to do anything to stay in your good graces. But should they become a stalker or try to escalate the relationship against your wishes and turn angry, you can use all those anchors to obliterate them. The more statements of theirs you can connect to your anchors and self-points and command voice, the more devastating your horror story will later be. Deliver the horror. Tell them a story that starts off sounding like a regular conversation. Embedded in the story will be several stories carefully broken into loops. Within the stories, you'll be anchoring tales of horror, deceit, memory loss, death, and torture to those same anchors. Be sure to use the exact same facial expressions, voice tone, and anchors when you deliver the story. To them, it will seem like you have morphed into a demon before their eyes and are gleefully connecting horrible pain to their most cherished desires and plans. After the horror, act like normal, as if you just told them a plot of a movie you saw on TV or something you saw in the news, no big deal. They will be shaken on a deep level. They might even block it out of their memory. They will have an uncomfortable feeling after the conversation, but they will have no idea why. They might think about telling somebody, but they will stop themselves. The only thing they will say is, John was telling me about this movie he saw, but I'm positive he put some kind of evil hex on me. I think he might be a demon or something. Even if your enemy tells others and those others come to you to ask what happened, just tell them the truth. You told your enemy about a movie you saw. Then you can give them the details of one or two of the stories, but leave out the anchors and the commands. Since you're leaving out the commands and the anchors, they will wonder why your enemy is so messed up. Repeat as necessary. Once may be enough. Switch before recalling their dreams since you have a huge collection in mind. Start talking about a TV show you watched and reminded you of their future house by the beach. The next time you have them alone, slip into another collection of horror stories. Sometimes you will make them feel fantastic. Other times you will make them feel terrible. Soon they will be terrified of you. They will be desperate to explain why to mutual friends, but they will sound like a raving lunatic. This is good because then you will have a legitimate and verifiable reason to stay away from them, one others will agree with. If you are only connected socially, you will never see them again. In the following podcast, we will have several fully written loops that you can memorize. Please practice them as often as you can. Often just practicing these at home or in the car with your enemy in mind will be enough. I'm George Hutton. Thank you for listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/weaponized-hypnosis. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.